Today at Home with Miss Joan, we're going to talk about something that I absolutely love. Might even love it better than cooking. Everybody that knows Miss Joan knows she has a list. And to me, it's my time management techniques, but I get called, well, there comes Miss Joan with her list. So we're going to look at my list and see how I plan my days. But I believe the first thing that we need to do every day is prayer. And that's a separate video that you'll need to look up on what I call my prayer basket. Getting on with the time management is, I believe that all of us need 3 calendars. And it's like, oh, Miss Joan, I can hardly handle one calendar and you want me to have 3? Well, what I mean is we need what's called a month at a glance. Now, you know, I've pulled out some. They come as big as Texas here, like this. And then these little pocket month at a glance. There's mine for July. This is a whole month at a glance. Plus it's a 2-year calendar. I can plan out or put in dates in the future. I believe that we need one of these, not both. I particularly go with the smaller size because I've been around people and they'll say, well, let me check my calendar. Well, they can't carry this around with them because it's too big, and so they have to go home and look at their calendar. Well, to me, that's totally useless, okay? It needs to be something that you have with you. Now, I realize now, and I do it on my phone too, you can look at a good month at a glance on your cell phone. Now, when it breaks down into the week at a glance, the day at a glance, I like to have real paper, okay? And I did survey some of my much younger friends and asked them, because I figured they were all digital, and they're not. But they like paper like I do. But anyway, so I have my month at a glance. That's calendar 1. Now, you will get thrown all kinds of stuff. Say you go to the doctor, oh, they want to give you one of these appointment cards. You know, everybody wants to, everywhere you go, let me jot that down so you won't forget. We don't need these little things. They're totally trash to me. I take them, I post them on my month at a glance or whatever month it is, and I throw them away. That's just clutter. We only need one big calendar. The church gives you a bulletin every week that has wonderful opportunities for you to take advantage of your family. Post them on your calendar, the time of it, and then put the church calendar away. And also the school calendar. Now it's real important around here. Preacher drives a bus. Daughter is a school teacher, and because we roll by the school calendar. So we print that out. It gets posted on the calendar, all the holidays and times that they'll be off. It makes a big difference in the family. And then, oh, what about those ball schedules? I know a lot of you, it's like, well, we do all kind of activities. Well, okay, take those different children that you have, take their ball schedules, their music schedules, or whatever, and post it in your monthly calendar. But we don't need to tote around or carry or get all confused and boggled down with 1,000 different calendars. So here we go. Y'all think you picked up on it. Here's a jewelry sale that I know about. I put it on the calendar and it's over with. All right, then I'll decide if I want to go to it or not. Anyway, enough about the month at a glance. We need a week at a glance. You know, we can't write in this week running across here. Where are we at? We're the last week of July now when we're talking to you in 22. We can't put everything in these 7 little blocks right here that we need to do this week. So I roll off of this, I pull off of it onto what's called a week at a glance. So I'll take it and I'll put in the dates, which is the 25th, 6th, 7th, 8th, so and so. I'll put the dates in, I'll write them in myself. And I want to tell you a little trick. I use a pencil because things change. They'll say, oh, the ball got changed from Tuesday night to Thursday night. Well, if you had all that mess written down in ink in your week at a glance calendar or your daily calendar, then you just scratching and writing over, it's just a big mess. Use a pencil. I get a lot of flack because it's usually stuck behind my ear, okay? In fact, since a gray-headed preacher even colored me some of these gold pencils because I used to be a blonde, but I paid for it, okay? This, look what I got. I got some, I always like my gold pencils that match my blonde hair because it stays behind my ear all the time. Look what Dave did. He took those gold pencils. Wow, look, that I use all year. And he spray painted them gray, my new hair color. Look at it, blends in. There, I
my gray pencils. I guess these will do me to the grave.
But anyway, now that I'm a great, he spray painted some of these and gave them to me for a present. But anyway, I get a lot of flack about my pencil and about my list. But I tell you what, it really, I feel like sometimes this is an old saying, I can work circles around some folks because they're still at the starting point. Okay, here we go. We've got the week at a glance that we pulled one of the 4 weeks in July out, and we made a whole week about what we're going to do. And then we take the whole week, and I'll sit down usually early the morning I'll make my daily list. And that's the one that I get so much flack about. There's Miss Joan and her list. It's usually with me, and I'll lay it even by the bed at night, and you think, oh, you don't go to bed without your list? That's not it. Do you ever wake up during the night and your mind is just whirling on, oh me, I got to remember this. Oh, that's something new I need to deal with. Just roll over there by your bedside table, dump it out on your little list that you have, and then roll over, go back to sleep, get the sweetest sleep ever, because it's not rattling and moving up there in your brain. So like I said, I take my month at a glance, and right now we're living in the last week of July. I'm taking the last week of July, and I'm just writing it out on my calendar. I'll put over here in the corner, July of 22. Way over there in the corner. Now, this is this week. Now, when I sat down to do my planning for the whole month, I'll be honest with you, I do 4 of these, okay? I'll take each week and pull it off. Or you can do it once a week, whatever. But you always need a week at a glance. Now, I don't want to scare you, but I want to show you something. After I had been doing this for many, many years, now let me give you a little foundation on why. Preacher, of course, was pastoring a church. He pastored one 11 years, and the next one he pastored almost 31 years, okay? And people like to come to the pastor's wife and tell us stuff that maybe they just saw us first. I don't know, but we get told a lot of stuff, and it says, tell the preacher, tell the preacher. Well, I can remember as a young preacher's wife, somebody was having surgery. Well, my world was whirling too, and I forgot to tell him. He missed a surgery of someone. It spoke to my heart deeply. Joan, you have got to have some method to write this stuff down that people keeps telling you. I'll be totally doing something completely different, and they come and share stuff with me right then, and I want to remember. So I just started my little note-taking system, and it really helped me through 40-something years of being in full-time ministry and having a job too and carrying on my home life. Okay, so we pull one of the days off of this week at a glance. But as I was getting better and better at it, I don't want to scare you, but this is a Word document, a simple Word document that I drew up myself. You can buy all these fancy planners all you want to, but nothing works like you developing something that works for you. And that's what I did. This worked for me, and it hasn't cost me any money at all over the years. All right, I did in my Word document, I started putting in some weekly things that I need to be reminded of, that I was continuously writing them down every week, okay? I used to go to a meeting every Monday at 1:30. Well, I finally just put that on my 7-day planner, week at a glance. Every Monday I knew I was going to that meeting at 1:30. And so you may have some set-in things that you need to remember. This is simple. What day is your trash day? Ours is on Monday. Well, you can be sure that it's going to be, here it is. Trash, and of course I clean out the refrigerator then too, because it hits the trash. And then I do my medicines just once a week. I don't want to deal with those bottles and all that stuff, calling the drugstore every other day. No, I'm going to do it on Monday, and I'm not going to think about it again until next Monday. So there's things that in your life, not just mine, that it would really help you if you'd start recording some of this stuff. And it just takes, to me, the pressure off of everything. Anyway, so I would just take, after this is my simple week at a glance, and then as I begin filling them in, I did some typing in. I like to plan my menus on Friday, just things like that to remind me. I may not get it done on Friday, I may have to roll it over to Saturday, but I have that little bit of a goal sitting there that's what I'd like to do. And this is one thing that I really like too about my week at a glance, is I threw my menus at the bottom. Now, it's nothing fancy. Really, you can put all 3, B for breakfast, L for lunch, and S for supper, and just write it down here. If you're on the go and you're leaving, you're gone for lunch like most people are, and you're having a quick on the run breakfast, then the main thing that I would write down here is, what are we having for supper when the family all comes back together? And so I've got that before me in my week at a glance. And you can see here on this one, there they are written in. I've even got breakfast, lunch, and supper and what we're having. And you may be busy and have to eat out. Well, just put eat out. There's nothing wrong with writing that in there. And then you still got the food and this menu planned out that you've got for another meal that you can roll into next week. So not a problem. It's just like, if you're home and you want to cook, there it is ready for you. I love having my menus planned out. Okay, now for one day, which is, let's just say Monday, I would get up early and, like I said, do my prayer, my Bible reading, and my journal, which that's the other video. And you see that's on here in my daily chart. I scratched it out because there's a certain person that we were praying for every day on here. If I'm working, here's what I done. My whole life had to be on one page. I couldn't have a work calendar and a home calendar and the kids' ball calendar or whatever. I needed one daily chart for me to look at, also known as Miss Joan's list. Okay. Well, when I was working, this is also just a Word document. If you don't have access to a computer, just take a little tablet, draw your lines, and put in your specific columns that work with your family. For me, when I was working, it was what I was going to do on the job. Like, say I always put my calls and my emails, any kind of communications, I listed that first up here. Lumped them all together so you don't stay on the phone all day long. And then say somebody was coming in at 10 o'clock and we was going to meet about something. Then I would list that meeting on here. And then I would think about that meeting, say, oh, well, I need to type up an agenda or have something ready for that. Everything I need to do for that meeting, it got put on here. And you can see as the day rolls on, everything that was done at work, calls, communications, meetings, anything that I need to type or projects that I was planning in the future, they all got clocked out here under my office column. I still had my home life going. See, well, it's not as big a space, Miss Joan. No, because you're not home as much. You're gone all day. But here it is. Here's my personal things. Here is where I would keep a little column for preacher. That's my little abbreviation for preacher. And then I'd have a little thing here for my daughter, because she's in and out here. She has her own place. But there's always things that I want to tell her and I don't want to forget. So I always got a little column going for Jordan that'll say things that we want to talk about, us girls or whatever, or things I want to give her next time she swings by here. And then preacher, bless him, he's always got something under his column. So that's personal stuff here. Well, I still had that, even though I was working, I still had my husband and my daughter. So I just made little notes about them there. And then things I need to go do at home, like, oh my goodness, big load of clothes in the dryer, just simple things that, if they soil, it's a big problem. So anything about home was here, and there you go. You see my weekly menu here? I would take it off of here and just write it down here for today, and we'll just call this 725, okay? I realize that this is an example of an old one here, and it was actually the 6th, but okay. And I'd write anything about home here. All right, here's my errands. This is what I love. Whatever I had to do before work, I put it up here. You see above the line up here? This little block right here was my morning routine before I left the house. If it had to be done before I left the house, it got recorded right here. So it, no matter if I were going to put on some beans in the crock pot, I'd put beans in the crock pot because it had to be done before I left, okay? And then me, because I have to take medications 3 times a day, I put BLS, breakfast, lunch, and supper. And then when I take my medicines, I just scratch it off like that. That way I know I got them all taken, my vitamins or whatever. And then whatever I needed to pack to carry with me went over here. Do you see the errands column? All right, let's just say that I'm going to the post office. Over here I'd put my bills. I'm gonna mail some bills. You see what I mean? This is my packing list for any errands that I'm gonna do today, or my packing list for anything that I'm gonna carry to work with me. Might be my lunch, okay? So I'd put down lunch. You might want to put down your kids' lunch, spending money, whatever's going out the door. this little column here, up here above my day, is my packing list. And over here was things that I wanted to do before I left home. So that way, my home life kept rolling, and I had everything for when we left the house. You didn't have to say, oh my goodness, here we go back. You know, if there was ballet classes or whatever, then those items were put on the packing list. You get it? After everything is listed that you want to do today, whether you're at home or the office or running your errands, number them in order of importance. Say that I'm at the office, then I'm going to list things. One, I got several ones that I need to get done. That means those are my top priorities. And twos or threes. And same way at home, I would do the same system. I would number my ones, twos, threes, and my errands too, because you want to save gas. You want to do things in order of where you are in town. Say today, you may not get all your threes done, but you certainly want to get all your ones done. It's what I call swallowing the big frog first. And those ones are the big frog, whether you're at the office, home, or running around town. I hope this little time management is helping you. Now right here, I don't know about you, but I put WAL, that means Walmart. It could be the dollar store or anywhere. But if I think of something like, oh my goodness, yeah, we sure could use this, well, I'm going to put it here on my, what I call my Walmart list. Oh, it might just say lettuce or something that you need. Oh, maybe the kids need some kind of sock, special socks or something. Then I've got that written down. Now, I may go get it, or preacher may go get it, because we're all talking to one another all during the day. And so that is always my little quick shopping things. Well, you know as well as I do, as high as gas is today, you can't just come home and run back and forth everywhere. I've always done that. Even when gas was cheaper, we always consolidated our errands. And so that's my little place where I write stuff like that. And then all my errands, you'll say, well, this is good for Monday through Friday when I'm working my 9-to-5 job. Well, I had another simple Word document that I used on the weekend. You see it? It looks very close to my work one. Home. Man, on Saturday, could you not fill up this home section with all the little projects? In fact, I would do it like this. Everything that we're going to do outside goes here, and everything that we're going to do inside goes here. You see, because when I'm headed out to the outbuilding, well, I want to take everything with me when I go out there instead of back and forth from the house. So that's how I would do in my personal home life. Now that I'm retired, this is the list that Miss Joan uses most of the time, all the time. But I used to have a very crowded work calendar, but it was also my home calendar all in one. And it was so handy. And then I would use this for Saturday and Sunday. But now in my life has changed. And that's what's so good about this just simple calendar planning and having a little list, as they call it, is your life changes. There's times when you are covered up with things, big projects, things you're working on. You can just plot it out, plan it out right here on the same chart. And then when life slows down a little bit, your life changes, and you can have something simple. But there's things I still need to remember, my doctor's appointments and all kind of things that I go to and participate in and get ready for. So it's all here on my daily list. So here I'm going to try to do a caption of what we did. I believe in a month at a glance. Or your cell phone, month at a glance. So not these big Berthas right here. They're pretty, but that's just about it. I believe in the month at a glance. Look at July, or whatever month. Take it out and look at 1 week. Remember that? But start simple. Don't let my stuff overwhelm you. Start simple. See, just plain columns. Draw it off if you have to. And then take that week at a glance and roll it into one day, whether you're working at your office and home life, or you're full-time stay-at-home mom, or retired, or whatever, you're at home all the time. You still have a very busy and full life, just like everyone else. And that's how we roll. That's how Miss Joan rolls. And I know you think, oh my goodness, that woman. But it really, really does help me to stay on top of things. I hope that this little class helped you. I did drag this out, and I'm going to show it to you because I'm going down memory lane. But your kids you can start them on being organized too at a young age, especially right now. Y'all are thinking about going back to school, and boy, that's going to get busy after this long, lazy days of summer. And I remember that I pulled this out because it's real. In fact, well, y'all know her name's Jordan, and this is older now, but I've kept it. And I just did Monday through Friday going to school, and how that did she pick out her shirt and her pants? Did she have her socks and shoes and breakfast? And she'd get a star. Well, kids love stars, stickers. Oh my goodness, they love that. These is the old stars that you used to get. And did she eat breakfast? Did she brush her teeth? Is your face washed? Do you have money? Because a mama worries if they got their lunch money, their milk money, or whatever we called it back then, and then after school snacks, if you were staying after school for something, all of this, you get a star. In older years, when like check marks would work, and maybe sometimes I didn't like pay her for this, but they'd get little rewards or whatever for filling in all the blanks. But Sunday is so busy until here's Sunday on this one. You know, you still got to get your breakfast. And back then, the curling iron means back, she was raised in the day of them big permanents and them big bangs. You got that curling iron, you done all this. You had to plug it in, the thing wouldn't work. So see, we had to plug in that curling iron way ahead. I'm giving you too much information. All right, if you brushed your teeth, you got your Bible, your Sunday school book, you got your offering that you're going to give. You get it? Anything that you're going to give to children's church. This, make your own. This, you don't know how to follow this. It's not your family. But you can make your own of things that your kids need to remember. Hang it up in their room. That's where this was, hanging in her room, or y'all use the refrigerator, whatever you use. But teach them to start taking control of their life at their age. And I'm telling you what, it'll sure pay off for you in the long run. I have enjoyed, I'm one kind of person that I love time management. I think I told you that I like that even better than cooking. And y'all know how much I like cooking at home. But I believe in having everything that's kind of written down so I can look at it. And oh yeah, all these papers that you felt like you had to keep. Oh, Miss Joan, I'm just not hardly ready to part with my ball schedule. Well, fold it in high, because this sheet is folded in high. Stick it behind here. Get you a little clamp. I've done this 100 times. And there you go. All right. If you've got some big sheets that you just can't part with right now, then just fold it up. Say, oh goodness, I got to refer to that. Well, here it is. Whatever you need to refer to this week is all clamped together. I've done this so many times. They laughed at me because I'd take it and I'd just roll it up, stick it in my pocket. I used to help preacher cut the grass, so that's been a long time ago. I'd stick it in my pocket and it'd be out there on the lawnmower, and I'd think about something, I'd pull over and go, I don't want to forget that. I don't want preacher to forget that. So it went under his name. Roll it back up and just keep on trucking. I know I'm crazy as a Bessie bug, but I'll tell you one thing. If you'll take some just little time management helps, and it will really help your life. And some of you are overwhelmed. You're thinking, Miss Joan, you don't understand. You don't live like where I live. You're thinking, my house is overwhelming. I can't get it done. Today, plan out one thing. Just one project that you want to get done, okay? And when you finish that one thing and you get to check it off, I can't tell you the joy and the feeling of satisfaction that you'll have. And so, and maybe it is a overwhelming task, then have another sheet that says things to get done sometime, not today, and dump your things on that, okay? But just pull one item from it and put it on today's list so you can get started on getting your life organized. I'm telling you, it works. I've been doing it probably, oh dear, I hate to say, 45 years at least, and it really works for us, and I hope it'll work for you. I love y'all. Enjoyed talking to you about Miss Joan's List right here at Home with Miss Joan.